We're going to talk about House File 316 a little bit. That's the House version. The Senate has a little bit different numbers, but we all get the idea, don't we? It's stop our litigation, stop the lawsuit, right? Isn't about regionalization, isn't about whether we've got a good board or not. It's stop the people representing you who are bringing a lawsuit forward, right? Right. Truth? From oh, I love it. The nutrient reduction strategy. Folks know what that is, right? That's kind of the heart and soul of the Branstad administration's views of how to protect our environment, our water quality, right? Guess who wrote part of the nutrient reduction strategy? Our friends at the Farm Bureau. Perry Beeman, a great reporter for the Des Moines Register. He's now moved to another publication, but he found that out years ago. So wow, we've got this great framework for protecting our environment written by the Farm Bureau. Guess what? The surface waters here in central Iowa, the Raccoon and Des Moines rivers, continue to pump all kinds of pollutants, not only through here in central Iowa, but right to our friends in New Orleans, right? Gulf hypoxia, one of my favorites. In 2013, we saw the worst levels in the Des Moines and Raccoon rivers at the same time with nitrate concentrations. 24 parts per million, that's twice the allowable amount for drinking water, and about 18 on the Des Moines. 2015, we had a bunch of other problems. We had to run the denitrification facility for a record number of days. We had a bunch of beach closures, and guess what? The Gulf hypoxic area continues to grow, and the number of impaired waters in this state went up. Again, every 2 years it's rationing up. Impaired means it's not safe for you and I to be in it. We're violating, by the pollutants in those waters, some level of a public health standards. You hear a lot from the other side, from corporate ag, from industrial ag, from the factory farms about how, well, this is really just kind of aberrational, it's going to get better, this is really not a big problem. We've looked at some data here that's, roughly 40 years of data. Does that trend line look good to you? No. Truth? Doesn't really look like the nutrient reduction strategy with its voluntary system of environmental protection is working very well, does it? No. Truth? Does it look like voluntary conservation practices are helping the Gulf of Mexico? No. Truth? Oh, you're great. You know what we hear from the governor and from Secretary Northey? That we're anti-rural. That it's Des Moines against rural Iowa. That we're not Iowans. This isn't Iowa nice. Let's just think about what the legislature's done in the last, 6 weeks. Let's see. Public school students, collective bargaining, Planned Parenthood, guns, firecrackers, wow, minimum wage? Wow, if he thinks that I'm not Iowa nice, I must not be very nice. Our federal claim continues to go forward, and we hope to hear it in June 17th in beautiful Sioux City. A lot of dark money involved in this process, but this dark money issue, the Citizens United issue, is very real even here in Iowa. And I hope we know that. Do we know that? Yes. Let me talk about House File 316. Wow! How many of us are from Polk County? Wow, almost all of us. Well, Polk County is the yellow box in the middle of the state, right? Where's our friend Jared Klein from? Wow! Keota in Washington County. I got news for you. We don't serve Washington County. We don't have any customers in Washington County. Jared Klein has reintroduced what looks a lot like last year's bill, except in many ways it's even worse. He's 100 miles away. When we sort through this, at least from my perspective, this is a power grab by Farm Bureau. It has nothing to do with regional water systems. Why would regional water systems come into the legislature from somebody from Keota involving Des Moines Waterworks? Why would it go through the Ag Committee in both the House and the Senate? Unless it's to teach us a lesson, right? Who's controlling environmental issues in this state? Absolutely. Truth? And let me talk a little bit about the asset grab, what we're concerned about. I will tell you that I'm confident to a person, our board felt great angst, sorrow, surprise that we would be in a situation where we're here talking against Mayor County and the Des Moines City Council. Mayor County and many on that council have been our allies for years. But we heard very directly that we were in a losing position, that this legislation was going to happen anyway, and Des Moines should protect its interests. House File 316 blows up any regionalization. Its title is a regionalization bill, but what does it do? It destroys the Des Moines Waterworks, it destroys the Urbandale Waterworks, it destroys the West Des Moines Waterworks. And why do we think Urbandale and West Des Moines were put in there? So that they have more smoke about how it isn't singled out on Des Moines Waterworks. But we know better and you know better, right? Yes. Truth? We've watched Flint, Michigan with horror.
That's right.
The horror there is that a state government, Rick Snyder et al., came in and grabbed that utility and went through a process that led to a daisy chain where nobody cared about what they were pushing out their plant into the pipes that serve you and me. We absolutely do not want to see something like that happen, and God knows we'll all be working very hard to keep that from happening. But my real point is, you start messing around with governance structures, start freezing assets, start stopping improvements of mains and new water treatment systems because you can't spend any money. Things happen, and bad things can happen, as Flint, Michigan reminds us. Contact Mayor County's office and the City Council. Also, we suggest you contact the Polk County Board of Supervisors. If you live here in Polk County, if you're in Dallas or Warren or Story County, contact your legislators. Also, obviously, contacting state legislators is really important in this. We think that the Metro folks hopefully understand that this is a power grab by Farm Bureau, but they're confused, frankly, by the city of Des Moines saying, well, this is not the worst it could be, we support it. We need to bring them some clarity, right? Right. And call the House switchboard. If you don't like throwing the emails out there, call the House switchboard. You start singling out organizations, it's an abuse of power. Yes. And that's what we think really is the base of this. Their ability to do what they're doing is certainly going to be an issue these folks are going to be talking about here as we move forward. What a strange series of bedfellows. Here we are, deep blue Des Moines, and the folks who are coming to our rescue, at least as best as they can, are the deep red suburbs around us. But there are folks who also understand their business consequences from this. Economic development, Microsoft. If we can't build millions of dollars in capital improvement, people start going to, God forbid, Nebraska or Kansas or whatever to do their economic expansion.